Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of Sridhar's Geetmala. Many of you might be wondering why, in all the 100 odd videos that I have posted so far, there is no video and rendition featured on the great music director Naushad's music. Well, the reason simply is himmat nahi hui. I didn't have the courage. Because Naushad's songs are usually steeped in uh, classical ragas and much more difficult to reproduce than some of the other composers. But I realized not talking about Naushad and his contribution to Hindi film music would be a gross travesty. And hence I have mustered up the courage to do an episode featuring one of his songs. Naushad Ali was the first superstar music composer of the Indian cinema. He was credited with making classical music enjoyable to people by using it skillfully along with folk music. He was equally familiar with Western musical arrangements and incorporated many of his songs. Naushad was born in Lucknow and developed an interest in music at a very early age, and he started learning. When the age of talkies came in the 1930s, he was mesmerized by them and decided to leave Lucknow for Mumbai, uh, obviously very much against his family's wishes. In Mumbai, of course, there was the mandatory struggle. His first film as a composer, Jawar Bhata, was a flop. But then in 1944 came Ratan, the film which catapulted him to the top of the list of composers. Who can forget अखियाँ मिला के जिया भरमा के चले नहीं जाना in the voice of Zorabai Ambala. और जब तुम ही चले परदेस लगा कर ठेस ओ प्रीतम प्यारा दुनिया में कौन हमारा भाई करण देवान और मिलके बिछड़ गए अखियां भाई अमीर भाई कर्नाटकी. These were some of the top actor singers of this time, of those times. There were others like Sham, and of course there was Kundanlal Sehgal. Very soon, however, their era ended when the film world was taken over by the storm of Lata Mangeshkar and then Mohammed Rafi. Lata and Rafi were to collaborate with Naushad over the next 30 years or so to give us some timeless classics. Their voices and the ability to sing classical notes were perfect for Naushad. In fact, when Naushad was reportedly asked towards the end of his career, Rafi had passed by then, if he would agree to compose classical songs again for any film, he is supposed to have said, "Get me Rafi and I will do it." Naushad was a perfectionist, and in his entire career of 50 years, he composed music for only 65 films. He never rushed through his projects, took his time to give the perfect scores. As a principle, he never did more than one film at a time. His obsession for perfection is possibly what created the greatest soundtracks of all time, like Baiju Bawra and Mughal-e-Azam, where he even used acclaimed classical singers like Amir Khan, Bade Ghulam Ali Khan, etc. In Baiju Bawra, every song was based on a Hindustani classical rag. And only Mohammed Rafi could have done justice to Rag Darbar in O Duniya Ke Rakhwale or Malkons in the goose pimple inducing bhajan Man Tarpat Hari Darshan Ko Aaj. It is interesting to note that Naushad never used Kishore Kumar. The song I have chosen to render is from a film called Ram Aur Shyam. Ram Aur Shyam was a huge hit for Dilip Kumar, which came after a string of movies which didn't do so well. Now, the plot of twins separating at birth is probably the most stable plot in the Indian cinema, and it's almost like a franchise. The original was the film called The Corsican Brothers, made in 1941 with Douglas Fairbanks Jr. In 1964, a director called Tapi Chanakya made Yengavitta Mappilai with MGR in Tamil. And Ramudu Bhimudu with N.T. Ramarao in Telugu in the same year. He remade the film in Hindi as Ram aur Shyam in 1967. Post that, of course, we had Sita aur Geeta with the protagonist gender change for some variety by Ramesh Sippy in 1972. Ramudu Bhimudu was again remade, this time with NTR's son, Nandamuri Balakrishna in 1988. In 1989, the stylish director Pankaj Parashar made Chalbaz with Sridevi in the double role, and in my opinion, Sridevi's performance easily makes this the most entertaining of the lot. In 1990, the letter K obsessed Rakesh Roshan made Kishan Kanhaiya with Anil Kapoor. And then there was Judwa by David Dhawan in 1997 with Salman Khan, and Judwa 2 with his son Varun 10 years later. I wonder how many more we'll see, and this does not even include the other countries and other languages of the world. Anyway, the music for Ram aur Shyam was composed by Naushad, and hence I have chosen it. The film has a beautiful birthday song, Aayi Hai Bahare Mile Mite Zulmo Sitam. My favorite, of course, is Aaj Ki Raat Mere Dil Ki Salaami Lele. It is actually a sad song if you see the lyrics, but the way it is composed, one would not think so. It has a very fast tempo and a lot of josh for a sad song. As usual, the great Rafi Saab has made magic yet again. Please listen to my rendition with headphones. Thank you.
कैसे दुल्हन बन गई चरागों से करूँगा उजाला मैं दिल की दागों से।
चाहा के बता